Welcome back to my workshop. Now today's a very exciting day for me because I've actually been approached by Algo Technologies Company Limited and they wanted to send me one of their products for me to review. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to open this box, I'm going to assemble what's in it and then give it a quick look over. Okay, so what is this in this box? This is the AlgoLaser DIY kit. Now this is part of their range of laser engravers. You've got this one, which is the DIY kit, which I assume you could call an entry-level machine. But don't be mistaken, from what I understand, this is quite a capable machine. The next version up is the AlgoLaser Alpha, okay? And then their flagship product at the moment is the AlgoLaser Delta. Now, the Alpha and the Delta have higher capacity lasers, but in theory, this one can also be upgraded. But we won't do any upgrading yet. We'll get it out of the box and we'll see how good it actually is. Just for a little bit of background information, Algo lasers, although they're new, they come from very good pedigree, let's put it that way. The CEO of the company, Justin Tan, was actually one of the founders, or the founder of Auteur lasers. Now, if you're in the laser world, you'll know that Auteur lasers are quite well known. Okay, so I'm expecting good things from this. Okay, let's get this out of the box. Right, so what I'll do is I'll unpack this and then we'll go through the components after I've got them out of the box. Right, so this is exactly how it's all come straight out of the box. What I'll do is I'll quickly go through things. First of all, here we got some a laser engraving manual. Okay, I won't go into too much detail at the moment. What have we got in here? We've got a certificate which is actually for the laser goggles, okay, which is a good thing to have. Okay, at least you know you should be safe with that laser and those goggles. There's some certificates of conformity here, which obviously cover things like radio interference. Again, a nice set of certificates for you to check if you need to. And then we've got a quick start guide. Now this is obviously what we're going to rely on. This is the assembly guide, and hopefully it's straightforward. Okay, so that's in that first packet. Let's move that out of the way. In the second packet here, we've got some laser engraving consumables. Okay, what we have in here is a piece of black acrylic, which we will probably be using later on. A small brush, obviously for cleaning bits, probably the laser head. A couple of little aluminium business cards. Okay, these will be interesting to try and engrave. And some cable ties, which I assume are going to be used for the cable management. Okay, let's move those out of the way. We also have here another piece of material. This looks like ply. How thick is it? Okay, nearly 3mm. So what I'll probably try and do is engrave that and cut it. Let's see what happens with that. So that's the first part. Okay, so we've got some more materials here for us to experiment with. Looks like we've got a coaster, which is bamboo. We've got a bottle opener. That's handy. Right, obviously it's made, it's got a wooden handle, so I could try engraving onto the handle. Looks like we've got a wooden key ring. again, interesting to try and do. Oh, we got a dog collar tag. Now that'd be interesting because obviously this is metal. See how that goes. And we've got another key ring here. Okay, so a couple of little things so we can actually get going as soon as possible. Let's move those out of the way. Quickly going through the other packages here. What we've got is, these are standoff legs, okay, or feet. This is to obviously raise up the gantry and the frame. Okay, we'll cover those later, but now they're out of the bag. We have these, which are the drive belts. Okay, tooth belts. Let's see how thick they are. Okay, looks like they're 6mm wide. Okay, they should be more than adequate for the job. We've got a USB cable, which is standard USB to USB-C, which is interesting. Okay, which is a step up from a previous laser that I've had, which has this kind of USB, which sometimes is a bit big. Okay, but USB-C, let's see how that works. Okay, we have an assortment of screws here. I think they're probably labelled, they're shown in the instructions, how many we should have of each. Now you have to be very careful with these to make sure you use the right screws in the right location. Otherwise nasty things can happen. Okay, we have here, we have a Wi-Fi antenna, because this machine is Wi-Fi compatible. Okay, which is a step up on my last laser, which had no Wi-Fi capability at all. Okay, we'll see how that fits later on. You've got this, which is the main gantry. Now luckily for me, this is all pre-assembled. Okay, so all the wheels are already fitted. The crossbar is already fitted, stepper's already fitted, and the limit switch is already fitted. Okay, so the gantry moves quite smoothly, and I believe these are NEMA 17 stepper motors. Okay, so having that pre-assembled is a really good thing, because that can save a hell of a lot of time and a lot of setting up. Okay, just move that to one side. Here we have the AlgoLaser main control board, okay, which comprises of a power switch, a emergency stop switch, and an on-off key, okay, which comes in this packet here. Okay, now that is obviously if you've got people in the workshop that you don't want to be playing with the laser. Okay, you actually get a key so you can actually lock the machine to stop anyone else playing with it. Let's make sure it goes in. Yeah. Okay, so once the key's in, you can turn it on or turn it off and remove the key. Okay, and that will then stop people playing with it. That's good. Okay, so this is the main control board. Obviously you've got your connections here for USB, which is the USB-C, an in-out port, screen, and a power supply. Okay, we'll get around to those in a little while. Just quickly looking at this packet here. Oh, very tiny screws, don't lose those. You have a spanner, a couple of knurled knobs, which I presume are to hold the laser. We've got a base plate and a microswitch, which is the gantry switch, not the gantry switch, the frame switch for positioning. We've got a small screwdriver, a selection of Allen keys, a couple of small screws, which I presume are for this, and obviously the keys. Okay, don't lose any of those bits because you'll need all of them. Okay, I'll put them back in here for now. Okay, the next packet comprises of some L brackets. Okay, these are obviously for the corners. There's 4 of these, 1, 2, 3, 4, which are clearly shown in the instructions where they go. Okay, so we'll see those later on. Okay, that's those 4. Also, similarly, these ones here, some more brackets, which I believe are the actual belts go through the end of here, and these are what I use for holding the belts. And there's also instructions for those in this book as well. All right, okay, that's good. Leave those for now. Moving on to the power supply. Okay, so it's a standard fitting here on the end of the power supply. Because this is a UK market, okay, I've got a standard power lead here with a 3-pin plug on it. Okay, obviously if you get them in different markets, you'll get a different plug. That fits in there, and we've got input 100 to 240 volts, that's AC. Okay, output 24 volts at 3 amps, okay, 72 watts. Okay, so that should be more than enough to power the laser. That's all good, so we know that's going to fit. As I say, we've got a set of funky glasses. These are the ones that the certificate is for. Now, don't be surprised if you get orange ones or green ones. Allegedly, they both cover you for the same wavelength of this laser. Don't forget to wear those whenever you're using a laser, because if you don't, you're a bit silly. Right, here, I won't take it out of the bag. Oh yes, I will. This is the actual laser. Okay, it's got a protective screen around it, which should help. Okay, danger, laser 4. Yeah, looks like a very nice thing. Okay, so this is the 5.5 watt laser, which is equivalent to the one on my previous machine, so I know what to expect from a 5.5 watt laser. Now, in theory, this main board will allow you to upgrade up to, I think it's a 20 watt. I'll have to check that, but I think it's up to a 20 watt laser. So you could upgrade this without having to upgrade the main board. Okay, so that's the laser. I will put this back in the bag for now to protect it. Okay, next on the list here, we've got this, which is the focusing device. Okay, I'll show you how to use that later. I had something very similar on my previous laser. It's easy enough to use. We'll run through that later. And then finally, we've got the X and Y axis aluminium extrusions. Okay, won't get mixed up. They're different lengths, so you shouldn't get mixed up. Some of them have got a rule on them, and some of them are plain. I'm hoping it's going to show me in the instructions which are which. And also, it's got pre-drilled holes, so you haven't got to do any drilling for assembly. Right. Excellent. Right, so that's everything out of the box now. I'm ready to start assembly. Make sure you check in the booklet here. It shows you exactly what should be contained within the pack. If there's anything missing, just contact AlgoLaser straight away and let them know if there's anything missing. So I'm going to start assembling this now. It'll probably take me, I should imagine, probably about half an hour. I'll give you an overview of while I'm assembling it, but I won't spend too much time. Okay, right, let's get going. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do is we're obviously following the instructions here. It's quite clear, it shows you which way to lay it out. But I'm going to show you how I'm going to do it. First of all, when you get the rails here, you'll notice some of them have got markings on them. Okay, so it's in metric. Now obviously when you're using the machine, these are going to be facing upwards. So you've got the shorter one and you want the numbers so they're facing you like this. Then on the back one, the other short one goes at the back. On the longer ones, you want the numbers out on the top again. And if you look on each of these longer ones, there's this stop here. Okay, this is an end stop to stop the carriage actually coming off the end. So they're on the outside. So knobs on the outside, writing upwards. Okay, now the two short ones go inboard, and then what you do is you make sure you use the right screws, which are these ones, which are the 25mm screws. Okay, it says it clearly in the instructions here, 5 to 25 Okay, so you use those screws to go through the frame and into the cross frames. Okay, so that's the basic frame all assembled now. So a screw in each corner, not tightened up fully yet. I will go around and tighten them up later. So next we're going to put the gantry on. Okay, now to put this on, what you do is you make sure the motor's at the back. Okay, you've got your writing at the front here and the writing at your left hand side. Lift it up, slot the wheels on. Okay, and just for now move it to halfway and it should move freely. Okay, that was easy enough, wasn't it? Okay, so the next step is now we need to fit these L brackets, which I was talking about earlier on. Now these go underneath, so what we have to do is flip this over. Okay, so now the writing is at the bottom and the gantry is at the bottom. Okay, and each of these go on the corners like this, and then they get screwed in. So let's do that. Now they are screwed in with these ones, which are the 14mm ones. Okay, make sure you get the right ones. All right, I'll show you how to put those in. Okay, so looking from underneath here, you can see there's a hole here and a hole here. Now they will correspond with these holes, this one here and this one there. So what you do is you put one of the 14mm screws in each of those holes. Okay, so you do that on this corner, then you do it on this corner, then on this corner, then on this corner. Okay, yeah. And then again, I'll nip them up with the little Allen key. I won't tighten them up again, I'll just nip them for now. Nip, nip, nip. Right, the next step is to put these feet on, and what we're going to do is on the L brackets here, there's two holes in each. We're going to put them on the longer sides, okay, and they literally just screw in, okay, because these are already threaded. Feet are on now, so we can now flip it back over again. Okay. The next step is to fit these little plates here. Okay, now if we look at them, there's a little slot here, which is where the actual belt comes through. So what we have to do is these have to be mounted here, okay, on each corner. So one on that corner, one on that corner, and the same at the back. So if we have a look on the rail here, there's a corresponding hole. Okay, so the little slot goes at the top, and that hole lines up there. And again, you use one of the 14mm screws, and that just goes in there. Okay, you do that again to each corner. Right, the next step is assembling the belts. Now this probably looks the most complicated part of the whole assembly, but it's quite easy. A little bit fiddly, but it's quite easy. Okay, so what you do is you should have two belts, okay, and you have to insert them into the frame, over the wheels, and then out the other side. Okay, I'll show you now. So to assemble the belts, what you do is you make sure the teeth are pointing downwards. Okay, make sure your bracket is in place. Insert the belt through the bracket into the channel. Okay, and then when you get to the wheels, okay, so you feed the belt in, it goes under the front wheel. Okay, and then when it comes out behind the wheel, literally lift it up if you can, which we can because we're clever. Okay, pull it free. Then that goes over this toothed sprocket here. Okay, goes over the top of that, down the other side, under the second wheel. Okay, and then along the channel. Once it's free here, you can pull it through. Okay. Okay, pull it all the way through and then feed it through the back bracket. Okay, so you end up with a little tail here and then a little tail here. Okay, it goes along here, under the front wheel, over the sprocket, under the back wheel, and then exits over here. Now what you do is you do exactly the same on this side. Okay, I won't go through it again because you've seen it once. Okay, to fix the belt into place, what you do is you use one of these shorter bolts, okay, and a washer. Okay, these are all supplied, and you literally put it through there. That screws into the end of this rail. Okay, and nip it up, and the washer actually grips the belt. So make sure it doesn't twist when you're nipping it up. Okay, nip that up, not too tight, you don't want to cut through the belt. Okay, and you do that on both of the fronts. Okay, and then you just have to tension the belt and do the same on the back. Okay, tensioning the belt is simply a case of pulling the belt, making sure it's located properly in the teeth, make sure there's no ripples in the belt. Okay, then you insert another screw and washer at the back, and again nip that up. Okay, don't move the gantry at this point. What you should need to do is do the same on the other side. Okay, so the belts are now tensioned, they're sitting correctly, and the gantry should move freely backwards and forwards. Excellent, that was easy. Right, now the belts are on and the gantry's adjusted properly, which is good. Probably a good idea to go around now and check the tightness of all your the bolts that you put in so far. Just give them a nip to make sure they're all tight, and then the machine should be nice and square. Okay, don't forget to check underneath to make sure these are all tight as well. Okay, I'll go around and do that. The next step is now we've got to put this plate on, which is for the Microswitch for the homing position. Now in your little bag, what you get is you get 4 screws. 2 of them are, I think, 8mm long, and 2 of them are 6mm long. Okay, what you want is the 2 shorter ones first. Okay, now this plate goes on here. There's 4 holes here. They go on 2 that are closest to the front. Okay, and then these little screws go in there, It's a bit fiddly, but you can do it. And obviously you get an Allen key, you get a screwdriver to actually do that. Let's get that in. No need to over tighten those, it's not going to go anywhere, it's not under any load, so this little screwdriver is more than enough. You then get your Microswitch, okay, with the switchy bit to the outside of the frame, okay, and you use your slightly longer screws to mount that to the plate. Again, easy peasy, don't over tighten it. One. Okay, that's in. Excellent. What's next? So the next step is actually fitting the laser module to the gantry. Now there's like a slide here and a corresponding slide on here. So all you do is you literally slide that laser module in like that, and then you take one of these knurly nuts, and there's a small threaded hole there, wind it in until it contacts the laser, and then you're done. Okay, don't over tighten this because you don't want to damage anything. Okay, but that's literally it. So now you can adjust the laser up and down and lock it into place. Good. Easy. Right, so the next step is to actually mount the main board or the control box. Now this is mounted using 2 screws on the back. Now this is very important. There's a separate bag here that says please use this M5 by 14 screws to fix the controller box panel instead. Now the reason for that is because there are 2 other longer screws, and if you use those you can damage the box, okay, which you don't want to do. Okay, so what you've got to do is use these, which are slightly smaller, so you won't damage it. Okay, right, this mounts onto the front rail. Okay, so with the control box, obviously with the stop switch upwards, on the back there's two bosses, one here and one here, and they literally locate into the front panel. Okay, so you can't get it in the wrong place. Okay, once that's located in place, using your shorter bolt, one there, one there, give me a little nip, and that's the front panel fitted. Okay, so remember, don't use these ones because that would be bad. Right, so now the main board is plugged in. We've got the wiring harness, which we obviously need to plug into everything. You don't have to be electrically minded to do this. You can't get this wrong. What you have to do is literally take the harness, okay, poke it through here, making it as tidy as you can. We can tidy it up again later. Okay, and the only connections you have will all fall in exactly the right place. Okay, so we've got the limit switch here, okay, and we've got the connectors here. They can go either way. Then at this end, we've got the stepper motor, which is the white plug, which goes into the stepper motor. Then you've got the limit switch, which again is just the 2 wires. And then across here, across the gantry, you've got another stepper motor, and then obviously the laser. Okay, the laser's color coordinated, so are the stepper motors, so you can't get it wrong. Okay, just one thing to check I've noticed on this one, I'll show you on mine so you can check on yours. Okay, so what I've noticed on this one, on this stepper motor here, let me just get it focused. Okay, we seem to have a little bit of debris in here, which I believe is from the packaging. Okay, make sure you clean that out. Now I'm using a cocktail stick, so it's a little wooden stick. Try not to use a metal stick because that would be really bad. Okay, but make sure that all your connectors are clean and tidy. Okay, so when you go to plug it in, there's no issues. Simple as that. Okay, Then these ones plug in here. Plug. Plug. Careful you don't bend them when you connect them. Okay, follow the harness round. Again, stepper motor. And then the laser. Okay. All out of focus, of course. And at the front here, we just got to plug in these two. One. Two. Okay, and then we can tidy this all up later on. Okay, once your harness is in position, you put a cable tie here. Okay, make sure that's nice and tidy. Okay, I'm going to put it there. And you can cut these off. Then another cable tie here. Okay, there's holes here to accept it. Cut this off. Don't cut the wire, obviously. Okay, make sure that this gantry can move all the way to the back without this wire snagging on anything. Okay, that's good. Now we just got to put a cable tie up here. Okay, so that's it, all assembled. What you've got to do now is make sure that your harnesses don't catch on anything when it moves full length. Okay, so this must move all the way to the front and make sure that the limit switch clicks. Okay, and also all the way to the back, make sure this doesn't catch on anything. And the X gantry, make sure that this doesn't snag up on anything. Okay, again, making sure the limit switch is triggered. Okay, make sure this doesn't catch on anything. Okay, it's looking good. Right, just the last couple of little bits and pieces to do now. We've got the Wi-Fi antenna here. This literally screws in to this end here. Okay. And let's plug some wires in. Right, so on the side of the controller here, first of all we're going to plug in our USB cable. Now obviously, as I say, this has got the USB-C connector. Does it go in? Okay, that just plugs in like that. That obviously then goes off to your computer. Then you have your power brick, which goes into the 24-volt power supply. Okay. Then this obviously gets plugged into here, and this gets plugged into your mains. Right, I think we're done. Okay, so we're ready to power on. What I've done is I've connected it to my laptop via the USB cable. I haven't opened Lightburn or anything yet. I've got a power supply connected. So in theory, I can now turn it on. Right. Okay, so to power it on, put the key in, change it from off to on. Okay, release the emergency button. Okay, and push and hold the power button. Both lights go green, and then it finds its zero position. Right. Excellent, so we know it powers up and we know it can move. Right, I think that'll do for today. Right, so I think that'll do for this video. That's the basic assembly and the initial power up done. It's looking good, it's looking like it's going to be fine. I've now got to decide whether it has any drivers to install, which I can do in the next video. And then we'll start doing some cutting and burning using Lightburn software. Okay, this can also be used with an app. I'll see if I can get that working. And obviously it uses Wi-Fi. Now this is obviously the lower end of their range of lasers. Check out the prices on the AlgoLaser website. Okay, it gives you a clear indication of how much these things are up to date. Okay, so in the next video we'll cover those subjects, but for now I'll leave it there. Thank you very much for watching. Bye. And it's got a screen, and you can, and this is not very good. We'll start again. Take up to a 20 watt laser, so it's quite possible I could get a new head and then the compressor starts.